Hello students, so today we will discuss about matter and its composition. So let's get started. So it is a very basic and simple chapter, matter and its composition, and in today's class we will discuss about mainly two topics. Number one is matter, that is what is matter, and the second one is states of matter. States of matter. So today we will discuss mainly these two topics, matter and states of matter in detail. So let's start with first topic, that is matter. So let me share with you all that what is matter and some examples of matter. So what is matter? So matter. So let's begin with matter. So what is matter? So at first I will let you know that what is matter, that is definition of matter. So basically matter are those substances which has mass, occupy some space and we can feel it by our senses. So there are 3 points. One is mass, that is matter, substances which has mass. First point is mass and second is basically substances that occupy space. It means it has volume. So occupy some space, that means it has volume. And the third point is we can feel it by our senses. We can feel it by our senses. So these 3 points are important for matter. So we can identify matter by using these 3 points. So what is matter? I am repeating again. So matter are those substances which has mass, occupy some space and we can feel it by our senses. For example, chair, book, blackboard, whiteboard, basically everything, each and everything what you are surrounded by are matter. For example, the floor, the chair, the table, the phone, everything is matter because it has mass, occupy some space and we can feel it by our senses. Let me take an example. If you keep a book on a table, it occupies some space, it has some mass, because if you are trying to push it away, you need to apply force to push the book away. So it has mass, it occupies some space and also we can feel it by our senses, means we can touch it. So we can touch it, we can move it, so we can feel it by our senses. So book is an example of matter. As I said earlier that everything, each and everything which we are surrounded by are matter, are example of matter. That is chair, it also occupies space, phone, everything. This whiteboard, it also occupies some space and if I want to push it, I need to apply force on it. So this is also a matter, example of matter. So matter, these 3 points are important for a matter, that it has mass, it occupies some space, which we can say volume. Occupying some space means it has volume and we can feel it by our senses. So these 3 things defines a matter. It has mass, it occupies some space and we can feel it by our senses. So here are some example of matter, that is book, pen, whiteboard, chair, air, etc. Yes, the last example is air. Yes, air is also a matter. It occupies some space, we can feel it by our senses, but we can't touch it or push it, we only can feel it. In this room also, I can feel it that air is there, because if air is absent, it is impossible for me to breathe in. Or everywhere, air is present everywhere, we can feel it but we can touch it. So that's why I said earlier that matter has matter has 3 properties. Number 1 is it has mass, it occupies some space and we can feel it by our senses. So there are some examples, book, pen. The substances like book, pen, whiteboard, chair, we can like touch it, we can feel it, but in case of air we can't touch it, we just feel it. Okay, so these are the examples of matter. Okay, we have basically 3 states of matter. There are 3 states of matter. Number 1 is solid. Examples are book, chair, etc. And number 2 is liquid, that is water, and number 3 is gas, that is air. So there are three different physical states of matter. So what is the basic difference between these three states of matter? So you can also identify that, because solid, we all are familiar with book and chair. It has a fixed mass and it has a fixed shape also. So basic difference, we can simply we can say that solids have a specific shape. They all have mass, but solid has a specific shape and a specific volume. Solid, specific shape and volume. In case of liquid water, it has also a fixed volume, but it doesn't have any fixed shape. So in case of liquid, as I have given an example of water, so it has a fixed volume. It has a fixed volume but doesn't have a fixed shape. It takes the shape of the container. Not only water, the liquid state of matter doesn't have any fixed shape. It takes the shape of the container. So it doesn't have a specific shape, but it has a specific volume. And in case of gases, it doesn't have any specific shape or any specific volume. Nothing, like anything like fixed volume, no fixed volume, no fixed shape. So simply we can differentiate with this property that solids have a specific shape and specific volume, and liquid, for example water, alcohol, this type of thing, that doesn't have any specific shape. It has a specific volume but it doesn't have any specific shape. In case of gas, it doesn't have any specific volume and also doesn't have any specific shape. So we can simply identify different states of matter by this simple characteristics. There are many more characteristics and many more things to discuss, but this is the first and very simple thing which we can identify, by which we can identify the different states of matter. So solids have a fixed shape and fixed volume. Liquid has fixed volume but doesn't have any specific shape, and gases have no fixed volume and no fixed shape. Okay, so as I have said earlier, that solids, like for example wood, we can touch it. We can touch it. In case of liquid, for example water, we can also touch it. But in case of gas, for example air, we cannot touch it. We can only feel it. We can only feel it. So these are also a difference between these three states of matter. In case of solid and liquid, we can touch the substances. But in case of gases, we can't touch it. And also we can see it. We can only feel it. So these are and differences. These are also a difference between these three states of matter: solid, liquid and gases. We can touch it, we can see it. In case of liquid also, we can touch it and we can feel it, and also you can add, we can drink it also in case of water. In case of gases, we can't feel it, we can't see it and we can touch it, but only we can feel it, and also we can't live without air. So these are also some basic differences between solid, liquid and gases. So let me repeat all the points together. So solid are those substances which we can touch it, we can feel it, also we can see it, and solid has a fixed mass. For example, book, chair, it has different like in case of books, it has different shapes, but it has a fixed shape, and also it has a fixed volume. In case of water, like liquid, it has also a fixed volume, but it doesn't have any fixed shape. In case of gas, it has obviously all of these physical states have fixed mass, but in case of gases, it doesn't have any fixed volume. Basically, if you keep if you want to keep air in some cylinder or something like that, it will occupy whole space and take the shape of that container. So it doesn't have any fixed volume or any fixed shape. And also in case of air, like gases, we can just feel it, we can see it, or we can't we can touch it, we can only feel it. But yeah, in some gases have color or odor. uh, but in case of air, like some more examples of gases, that is oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, these all are examples of gases. But in case of some gases, they have color and odor. So we can, like in case of colorful gases, we can see it, but we can't specifically we can touch it in that way. We can only feel it. We can in case of colorful gases, we can see the color, but we can't in that way touch it. We can basically feel it, sense it. So what we have learned in today's class, so we have learned about matter. Matter has these three properties basically. Number one, it has a fixed mass, it occupies some space, and we can feel it by our senses like feel, touch, etc. Some examples of matters are book, pen, air, water, phone, etc. So matter has three properties. It has a specific mass, it occupies some space, and we can feel it by our senses. So there are three different physical states of matter. Number one is solid state, number two is liquid state, and number three is gaseous state. So in case of solid state, it has a fixed volume, fixed shape, and we can feel it, we can touch it, and we can also see it. Like for example, book, pen, phone, etc. And also the most important point is all of these states has a specific mass. Like solid state, liquid state, and gaseous state all has mass. All states have mass because this is the basic criteria to be included in the category of matter. As I have said earlier, that matter should have mass. So all of the physical states has a specific mass. But in case of solid, it has a fixed volume and shape also, and we can feel it, we can touch it, and we can also see it. In case of liquid, it also has a fixed volume, but it doesn't have any fixed shape. It takes the shape of the container. And we can also touch it and see it. And in case of water, we can also drink it. In case of gas, no fixed volume is there and no shape, a specific shape. It also takes the volume and shape of the container. And we can just feel it. In case of colorful gases, we can see it, but we cannot touch it in that way. We can feel it. We can feel it by our senses. So these are the basic physical states of matter, and these are the basic characteristics of different states of matter. And let me conclude today's class by saying one important point, that all of these states are interconvertible. Yes, all of these states are interconvertible. We can convert solid state to liquid, liquid state to gaseous, and vice versa. Yes, for example of water, water has three states. Solid state, it's ice; liquid state, liquid water; and gaseous state, vapor. So basically almost all of the matter has three states: solid, liquid, and gases, and these states are interconvertible.